So today we got something a little different going on. It's not all sport and muscle here in the garage. Today we are going to work on this. I'm going to open the camera now. Dramatic! This is my wife's Hyundai Accent. It's a 2017. We affectionately refer to it as the Beater, or Ziggy as she calls it. We haven't been driving it for a while. Yes, shop steward. I know. We haven't been driving it a while. I got covered in snow here in New York. We were driving this the other day in preparation to give it to my wife's mother, my mother-in-law, and had a hard time starting. Had, I think, a bad battery is what I thought. We were driving it around to charge the battery up because it had been sitting a while. And sorry if that music's loud, I'll get away. And while we were on the road, I flicked on the headlights after driving like 20 miles, and she died. Died, stone dead, right there on the road. I was doing 50 on Route 66 here. So we managed to get over to the side safely, and that's when I looked at my wife and I said, guess what? You've got a dead alternator. I said, when'd you last replace your alternator? You know, they have a 7-year life. She's like, I never have. I said, it's a 2017. It is. Okay, well, guess what? So, we went to the usual places, our local big box store. I'm befuddled as to how to open this box. Advanced degrees and all. There we go. And we went and got the Chinese special from Amazon. This alternator here, it's 90 amp, it's rated for the car, it's up to spec, it's the same form factor. Cost me $90 as opposed to the CarQuest part over at Advance that would have been like $350, as opposed to a OEM Hyundai, which would be like, I don't know, $500-600 maybe not that much, $400. Anyway, bargain basement, right? Because what is it? It's a little freaking dynamo. That's all it is. We're talking magnets and copper. So, as long as it works, perfect for this. Because this is not sport tuning. This is just keeping an appliance car running. So that's the theme of today. We're going to replace the alternator. We're going to replace the brake pads because they're terrible. I don't know that they've ever been replaced, and we're at 50,000 miles. Also, the brake pedal is spongy as hell, so we're going to bleed the brakes. And then while we're at it, we're going to do the good old-fashioned oil change. So, join me on this cold Saturday adventure. All right. This is a shit show. There's the offender, and you can see we're rusted over, we're corroded. Our belt looks good though. That is the tensioner. That'll be very important later. We're going to go ahead and do the tear down on this. I found a great video showing me how, so I'm going to reference it down below. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel, just sharing this for local context. We're going to go ahead and get that out, and we will hold it aloft like the skull of our enemies, which I'll show you in a bit. So we've hit our first interesting stumbling block. Always how things go with these. So there's a bolt underneath there. Trust me. It's a 14. And then there's this 12 right here, and the tensioner. And then there's this bracket coupling, right? And then all the wiring. Theoretically, I have it loosened up enough right now that I should be able to take a pry bar and wiggle that alternator, and that'll release tension so I can slip the belt. But years of driving and road conditions, this thing is like fused on there. Something is sticking, which is not surprising. So we're going to remove the bracket and the tensioner and see if that can't get us a little bit of wiggle. Let's give it a shot. Well, wouldn't you know it? Worked like a charm. Got play. So, I would prefer not to remove the entire serpentine belt. I'm trying to think of a way I can preserve it. Let's see what we can do. Okay, not too bad. We got it out just fine, disconnected everything, and you can see here, wow, there's some corrosion. Compared with the new part, shiny. So, we're going to put that in. Now, I was disconnecting this connector right here to the front of the alternator. And wouldn't you know it, I dropped the nut somewhere in the abyss. Now it's time to say, if you don't have one of these, get one. The telescoping magnet will save your life. All those years as a kid playing that game Operation, practical skills. All right, moving right along. So I got it in. That pain in the ass bolt, that 14 mil, that's the main driver bolt. If you seat that prior to loading it in there, you will have a better time. So, but that is in. It's where it's supposed to be. We're going to start tightening that up, and we'll reconnect. And that'll be that. All right. There it is. Got the belt on. Nice and tight. It did slip, and I was worried. But I was able to get it on just fine. Let me see if I can get some light in there. Pain in the ass. Kind of, you can see. There we go. But yeah, it's wound correctly. It's there. It's got nice tension. Fooling with the tensioner, I got that nice and tight. Everything's seated. Got it to torque specs. Found out my torque wrench is not good below 30 pound-feet, but oh God, what are we going to do? We'll deal with that. Have to get a new one. But yeah, it's in. Connected. Got that front connector there with the cap. This guy. Got everything off the main harness. Just double checking. I think we're good. So, that's job 1 of 3. I'll reconnect the battery at this point because I'm not worried about battery for oil change and brake pads. Brake pads are probably the tougher job of the two, so let's get going on that. We're going to get her up in the air using the quick jacks. Let's go. Further adventure. So I have these great rubber blocks for my vehicle. That's the truck version. It came with it. The smaller ones I use on the cars. Now on my Mustang, I installed lift points, and of course they attach to the seam, right? And all's well. I can get mowed up and down, no problem. These though, there's no notch, right? And the manual on the Hyundai just told me, like, use the pinch points, right? Classic pinch weld points. So, just give you an idea. Right, we need to get under there and use the pinch points on the seam. So, I could order blocks, right? From the good people over at QuickJack, but I want to finish this. So, how do we do this? I replaced a stair on my deck recently. I've got this nice piece of pine. It's nothing to write home about, but it works, right? It's pressure treated, and look, it has these great grooves. So we are going to use the table saw and fab up some lift points, homebrew style. There you go. Not bad. 4 little blocks. Those divots on the bottom, a little uneven, but whatever, it's going on a flat surface. Of course, now they're bothering me. All right, you're betting your life on these things, right? Because when you get under that car, you got 2,600 pounds suspended above your head. So why go halfway? We have the table saw. So I went ahead and I cleared these all down. So I have nice flat contact points, but otherwise I have room for the pinch weld. So we will see how these work. All right. Let's see how we did. No contact yet there. But there, yeah, I think that's just what we wanted. All right. I mean, she's up, right? She's on the blocks. We're in the seams. Hopefully that pressurized pine holds up. It should. You figure 2,600 divided by 4, right? It's 600 pounds, right? Can that block of wood take 600 pounds? Of course, it's all on a seam, but it should absolutely be able to. So, there you go. Little Home Depot ingenuity. Seems to be working. All right, we're on to phase 2, the brake job. So we pulled the wheel, super easy. Now we're gonna take that caliper off. And I've got my spreader over here somewhere. There we go. Got a nice little brush, can clean things up. We've got magical carpet dust here. Brake fluid, pads, nothing special, right? You know, this whole thing was with the oil like $80 over at Advance. You know, but if you had this done at a garage, you're talking $600, $700, $800. So I've been at it now for what, 2 hours. I take it light, I fuck around, I enjoy myself. But yeah, let's change some brake pads. Then we've got to bleed it. All right, started off easy enough. Access to the pads. I'm going to use my chair so I don't have to sit in a puddle. The best thing here I want to highlight is I was a good boy and listened to my mechanic sensei, one of the guys I follow online. Use the caliper hanger. You do not want your caliper dangling from this soft rubber tube in which you faithfully place confidence every time you brake. Why would you yank on that? Why would you abuse it? Fuck's wrong with you? Use a caliper hanger. Not a coat hook, not a piece of string. I got 10 of these on Amazon. We're talking like less than $10. Do it. So part of why I like doing this is I can clean up some of the old hardware and I can remove some of this old hardware entirely. It's funny because the pads, this all started when I noticed the pedal was incredibly soft and I knew I had to bleed it. I wasn't sure what kind of shape the pads were in. The pads are old, but strangely have plenty left. I mean, she could have driven probably, you know, I don't know, 15, 20,000. I mean, look at that. It's got a lot of meat left. So it wasn't the pads themselves. I could have left these, probably, but I'm glad I'm getting rusty shit out, and I'm glad I'm replacing some of the hardware right. Giving this to mother-in-law. We want to make sure she gets a good start, so brake pads, oil change, right? It's all the stuff I promised I would do if I sold the car, so I'm treating it like I did. So yeah, we're about to put new front pads in. We do this wheel, then the other wheel, and then we can get to taking the other wheels off and doing the bleed. And that is all super awesome easy because of my best friend. Oh, how I love you. an aha moment. I was installing these, and I was like, these metal shims are getting in the way. I wonder why they both have metal shims. That's weird. And I came over and I looked at my old set. The rear one has that metal, whatever it is. The front one doesn't. Which is why if you open the rest of the brake pads in the package, you see that there's two that don't have it. Why they wouldn't package them as pairs for each wheel, I don't know. But anyway, a little head work and a moment's pause, and we just prevented a major issue. So one has it, the one in the rear, the one in the front does not. All right, I think we got him seated now. That looks good. That looks good. All right. Now we just retract the caliper, which is why we have a caliper retraction tool available at any car parts store. Behold its wonder. Okay, I can already tell it's going to be a load of fun getting that on there. These pads are nice and thick, so we're going to have to squeeze them up a bit, get them closer. But in the meantime, I've been burned badly by this before. I was interested in a young woman in town before I met my wife, and in an effort to impress her with my skills, did this job for her. And she ended up hearing some squeaking, took it to a mechanic, and the grease monkey at the lube joint says, "You forgot to lubricate your guide pins." The one front, there's one up top there, and one below. Embarrassing. Fucking embarrassing. So now's the moment. Take these, wipe the shit off them, and you will see in your kit that there is some included grease. I don't know where it was here. Yeah, so CarQuest gave us some guide pin grease. I wasn't sure they were going to have some, so I got some myself. Make sure you add the lubricant on the guide pins, not the actual pads. That would be bad. Little tip. Once those are seated, the final seating is a little tough, especially with springy new hardware. And getting those super aligned and on is difficult, and you have to, otherwise the caliper won't make it. So one of the best ways, right, wrong, or indifferent, channel locks. And if you just get right up on it, gentle, you can give it a little kibosh. Fun fact, growing up, my father referred to this tool as the Virgin Urger. He is a filthy man. It continues to go well. So I just siphoned off all the old brake fluid. And with the both brake pad jobs done, put the pedal to the floor and got it nice and firm. So we know we're pressurized. How did I extract it, you ask? With one of my other best friends in the world. It's a pneumatic extraction tool. I believe it's German. And you can get them anywhere, though. There's all kinds of knockoffs now. They're fine. This one has an option to run on air power if you want it, but I am just using the pump, which creates a nice vacuum. These guys I use to extract oil. The magic of this is you can extract oil through the dipstick if you want. It'll accept it. Most cars do. My Mustang doesn't. It's sad, but most cars do. Hidden benefit, though, besides doing oil changes, is this wonderful flexible hose, which at the end has a brake bleeder nipple. And so rather than having a second person go in the car and pump the brakes to purge the air out of the lines, I can just vacuum extract. As long as I have a 10mm box wrench, which, thanks to my wife, we should have metric. That's my imperator. There we go. So, these two together, and you can bleed by yourself. Let's go do it. If you've never seen this done, and by the way, I'm being very careful to follow the route, you want to start furthest from the master cylinder and then work your way in closer, closer, closer. I'm trusting this mechanic I found online. She's great. She knows this car really well. I would have done rear passenger, then rear driver, then front passenger, front driver. She says rear passenger, front driver, rear passenger, rear driver, front passenger. So we'll trust her. Whatever it is, it's better than how the car is now. If you've never seen this, there is a nipple here. Remove this little fella. We'll hold on to him. That's what we attach our pump to, and that is a 10mm. That's for loosening it. So we hook the nipple up, we loosen this, we extract, and when we see there's no more air in the line, then we seal it off, and we've bled that part of the system. So let's get to it. So things went quickly from there. Knocked out the rest of the brake job. I did bleed the brakes. I think they're fully bled. I was still seeing air in the line, but I'm thinking it might be a connection in my hose. I'm hoping. I bled and bled and bled. My wife tested it. I had this valve open and she pressed the pedal and that fluid squirted right out. No bubbles, no hissing. So I think we're good. We're topped up with fresh DOT3, plenty of it, and then changed the Earl. Added a new filter. So we are about to test this. Well, that looks good. Where's my light? Oh, baby. Nikola Tesla would be proud. Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah. All right. Now let's just hope we don't kill ourselves with the brakes. So, excitement. When I disconnected the jumper cable, the car died immediately. Which shouldn't happen given that the alternator is working. Right? It's working, right? Connected everything. Let's give it a minute, see what happens. So at the end of the day here, as a wrap up, great news. Car's running fucking fantastic. It was the battery. Getting a new battery solved all the electrical issues. What had happened is with the new alternator, I reversed out. It died. But luckily I thought, okay, so at this point, it's, good on us. We have a new alternator because that thing's 7 years old. Right? That hunk of shit. So it's good she has a new one. New battery, Duralast Gold from AutoZone. Nothing special, right? If it breaks, she can go and bitch at them. She's an old lady. They'll do whatever she wants, right? And now we've got Miss Maud back where she belongs in the royal position, right? So all's well that ends well. Full front brake job, bleeding, new alternator, oil change. That's like $1,000, a grand of service. So get her running right. And I took it out just now. And I gave it the Italian tune-up. and it ran great. So all good. Have a good one, guys. See you later.